Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today we have Michelle Smeltzer and Susan Alger. She is the job developer, and Susan is the community liaison. See, I didn't forget what you...
Yeah, Michelle is a community liaison.
Yeah, you are the community liaison. But today we're here to talk about jobs.
Yes.
And how to prepare for a job. And this is primarily geared to high school age students. So, Susan, you're the expert on this, so tell us what this is all about.
Well, it's we're having a class during spring break from Warren County Schools that will run from 10 till 4, Monday through Friday of that week. And the students who come, when they show up Monday morning, they earn $100 just for coming. And
there's a catch.
There's a catch.
Okay.
I'll hold their $100 for them, but they have earned it by showing up for the class. Now, it's theirs to keep or it's theirs to lose.
Okay.
If they don't show up every day, we pull some money out of the kitty, out of their individual envelopes. If they cut up, act up, then
they lose.
They might lose some of it. Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to learn how to function in a business environment.
Yeah.
It's to help them get ready for employment after high school. This is mainly designed for kids who haven't got plans for a 4-year college degree, that sort of thing. Maybe they're first generation and going to Laurel Ridge next fall. Mm-hmm. But they probably have to work in the meantime and get ready for that.
Yeah, even if you're going to school, you need that part-time job to, mom and dad might not pay the whole bill, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just a good skill to learn, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing how I can remember when I don't have much walk-in looking for jobs anymore for some reason. They changed the rules. Now you just click a box online, right?
Right.
But it used to be
Lots of boxes.
Used to have to walk in, knock on the door, come and present yourself. But I remember they'd walk in, high school kids. You're not hiring, are you? No, we're not hiring today.
Well, that's it. You may be a great worker, but there are also soft skills you need to learn.
It's the presentation.
How you talk to people. It's
like going to a fancy restaurant. The food's the same. It's how they package, how they plate it. What's the presentation? That's what you're paying for, the ambiance. And it's no different than looking for a job or anything else.
Your personal marketing, how you present yourself to potential employers.
It's how you're looking for a girlfriend. I mean, you got to package, or a boyfriend, you got to package it up there and put it in the right way, right? I mean, it's all about the soft skills.
Soft skills.
You might be the greatest person, but if you can't convey that message,
And if you don't know what soft skills are, this is the place to learn about them.
There's a lot involved. Like I said, you have, of course, you're going to feed them. You're going to pay them and you're going to feed them. That ought to get most people there.
Lunch and snacks every day.
Are we limited to how many students can show up?
We are. We're going to have 10. If we get plus or minus that, we'll go with it. But
well, you have set the bar low to only have 10. You only think 10 people are going to show up?
We want to give them really intensive help, and I wanted to make sure I have enough
serious
mentors for each one to have a mentor there with them, helping them with their resume.
That's great. So this is just like one big old happy class. This is a concentrated.
Right.
We're going to, if you're serious, that's what they want. People that are really serious and want it. Oh, that's a great deal. You better get on it early then, right?
Yes, please.
So are you going to take you're going to look at all the applications and decide who's really serious?
We will.
Okay.
And it's not just for the school kids in the public school. It's for homeschoolers.
Basically for the age, what's the age, 17 to 20?
Right. That's my market that I'm shooting for. Okay. Yes.
Maybe even somebody might already be working, but really wants to move up and wants to find out what did I do right or wrong to find a job if they're in that age group. Sometimes they're just working 10 hours a week. Or no one hires anybody anymore for more than 30 hours a week.
Yes, that's true.
We want to keep them under that threshold so we don't have to pay them benefits.
I see a lot of clients come through who have a resume this long, a list of jobs they've held this long, but they keep them for a month, 2 months.
And there's a reason.
3 months.
Yeah.
So that's, you've got to learn how to maintain a job, not just get in the door.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's part of what we'll be teaching them. We have a local small business owner coming to talk about what it takes to be your own boss, because a lot of kids these days think that, hey, this is something I want to be my own boss.
Right. Well, they know, like, I know how to make that or do that, but there's a lot more. That's the easy part of business. It's the other 90% that you have to do in order to do the 10% that you like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of skills involved. You're right. I've seen a lot of people come in, they've had multiple jobs, and they just don't know how to keep a job.
Right.
The old saying, 90% is showing up.
I was just going to say, you
they
need to show up.
Well, I got to do that tomorrow, and they don't, that was fine when Mama would, let you get away with that, but it doesn't work that way.
Well, we've got lots of fun stuff planned. It's not going
like I might
to
come
be
over
just
and
all hard
learn
work.
something, right? Huh?
Yeah.
You can take the class.
We've actually got Virginia Career Works coming, and they're bringing their VR glasses.
Yeah.
And you can, evidently, you take these things, you put them on, and you can explore a different career. You can see what that job entails.
Okay.
You can kind of see what it's like to do it. But it's like being in a video game.
Yeah.
So that sounded pretty cool to me.
Well, I like this idea about the mentors. That's kind of, you're going to have somebody with each student and kind of showing them the ropes.
Right. And we've had lots of folks from our local Chamber of Commerce who've volunteered to help with that. And I'm going to teach a class on accidental careers because I find that I used to ask people, what did you want to be when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? Was it a policeman, a fireman, an Indian chief? What was it? And invariably, folks were not what they planned to be.
Well, that's most of us. I use the example. I remember the story about the kid goes to engineering school and he's up in New York and he's going to school and a friend of a friend gets him a job as a doorman at the Waldorf, right? So as he's going through school, he gets his engineering degree. He's going to find out I'm going to make $68,000 a year as an engineer to start. I'm making $94,000 a year as a doorman. Guess he just retired as a doorman. So sometimes you look at that and you never, most people you get a degree never work in a degree.
Right.
Because I told my kid that one time, I said, they don't care what the degree is. He's got to check that box unless you're going to be an engineer or a doctor, somebody that has a very specialized. But if you're going to be a generalist in most things, they just want to know, did you show up for 4 years and do something? I mean, and that's part of the action. We know you showed up and you took something serious. So, and most people don't work in the career field or they get in it and I don't like this.
Right.
And they go into something else.
Right.
So I think it's good to know that, it's okay to change a job.
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of jobs now that are not requiring that 4-year degree. They're requiring lived experience, people skills that sometimes you can't teach that. You can
street smarts.
Give people the guidelines, but it's how you talk to people, how you deal with people.
Right. I'm looking through the list here. You got the mentors, which is great. Goal setting, that's an important thing. They have a lot of people do wish setting. They don't do goal setting.
Right.
It's a dream. It's a dream until you write it down and plan, then it becomes a goal, right?
Exactly. The steps to get to that.
That's it. Personality assessments. That's another thing. Find out what they're really, they did that in school. My son took it. He said he's going to either be a bus driver or a funeral director.
No.
I don't know how that came out. Those are the two things. But,
we do the personality test at work, at social services. We all take a personality test.
It's amazing what it tells you, doesn't it? It's pretty interesting. Career exploration, you mentioned that. Hard skills, soft skills. Perfecting your image, that's another important thing. People judge the book by a cover, and that's what we are. And when you walk up and introduce yourself, or they always talk about the limp handshake and little different things, but people do judge you by your look. I'm sorry to say, but if you got piercings all over and face tattoos, and you don't know why you can't get a job, maybe, here's my sign, right? And so little things, I've talked to people, in DECA, because we're doing the job interviews, we're going down the state, and I said, I know you're an individualist, you want to wear that nose ring and all that stuff, but when you're going for a presentation and you want to be judged on it, they're going to judge you by how you look, and as much as you think it's cool, the guy that's 50 years old sitting on the other side of the desk doesn't think that's cool. And so we got to, it's part of your package. But if you insist on doing that, just be willing to pay whatever that price is.
Know your audience.
Know your audience, that's right. Oh, what's this addition? Here's a good one. Additional surprise takeaway. Is it going to be a surprise or you're going to give me a hint?
Maybe a little perfecting their images while they're there. Romans beauty salon
Right.
in school has offered to
a
come
haircut goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Even when
it
you don't
does.
have much hair. But it does. A haircut can change your whole personality. You see these people that get made over, like some homeless people. You go and you get the haircut and you get the shave, and wow, you don't even look like the same, and they don't even feel like the same person.
Right.
We may also do a little retail therapy.
Yeah.
To help with the day of the job
Right.
interviews.
We
that
have
they do.
organizations in town that'll suit you up and help you with clothing and things if you can't afford it. They've got a lot of that dress, and I know almost a lot of them help support that. So it's a great tool to do that. Again, we don't think about that. I can remember when I hired a guy years ago. He was a country boy from Luray, and he came for a job. He'd gone to electronics school, and he was going to come in. And you could tell he showed up with his best suit on. I mean, it was a Walmart special, about 2 sizes too big. The tie was about this short and had a knot this big in it. But, he had his clodhopper shoes on, but that's the best he had. And he came in all prepared, and he worked for me for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I got him a job down in the county, down at Fairfax. Anyway, he moved all the way through the whole thing. But I looked at it beyond the suit, but I could tell he did the best he had, and he came prepared for a job interview.
Right.
So and I've had other people come in that, not too good. But I'll tell you about these personality tests. You take them and don't be surprised. We had a job opening years ago. We had one opening, and we had 100 applicants for the job.
Wow.
So we went down to Quality Inn down in their banquet room and had everybody come in on the Saturday to apply for the job. And we gave everybody a personality employment test. Mm-hmm. So we had 2 people that just come off the charts. So we said, we're going to hire them both. They neither one of them lasted 2 weeks. Other times I've had people walk in the door, they've been here for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So you just never know. It's all about the personality and things. But, I say you hire slow, fire fast. And that's why people don't, have these, can hold on to a job. It's all about if you don't love it, stop. It's like this country. You can live anywhere you want. You can work anywhere you want. But, people don't owe you a job, so you have to earn it. Mm-hmm. That's my mentoring.
Thank you.
But no, seriously, I think this is a great...
Mike is not one of our mentors for the program.
I wonder why they didn't ask me.
Full disclosure here.
I'm not participating, but but I think it's a great program. I think people need to be, even if you get rejected, you learn from failures, not successes, and that's why you need to do these practice interviews and then take the critique. I remember when we did they stand there with their hands I said, it's all about the packaging. Don't put your hands down here. Put your hands up where you're going to use them. It's okay to talk with your hands, a lot of little packaging tricks that people need to learn.
We actually have Chick-fil-A in Winchester is coming to. They're providing.
Mike will be there that day.
They're bringing lunch one day, but they're also teaching customer service because they have, without a doubt, the best customer service program there is.
Well, I talked to somebody that worked at Chick-fil-A that just got a job there. I said, "What kind of training they have?" "Oh, we didn't go to school. They didn't have any classes. We just we're mentored." I don't know if that's how they do it. That's how he did him. They just mentoring, and you just do what I do, and they kind of teach along. And I went and Googled this, what's the etiquette for when you're dealing with customer service, and they take a lot of ridicule about their little "my pleasure," but that's the proper response when people tell you, not "no problem." That is not the problem. That is not the proper.
Pet peeve number 1. Yes.
Yes, and and if it was a problem, I wouldn't have come in. So, but people do that not for that reason. I mean, they think they're saying, "Oh, it's okay, it's great, we're happy," but they don't say that. It comes across as "no problem," and they really need to be saying, "It was my pleasure."
Yeah.
I have another really good one. When people tell you they thank you for your military service, this gets them. "I did that for you." And that's the response, the correct response. When you think about it, and all of a sudden it takes people back instead of saying thank you or thank you. So we got to learn these responses of what works and what's good for us and really what it's for. So That's my response when you thank me for my military
Thank you.
service.
Thank you for your service.
I did that for you.
Thank you.
I like that.
I appreciate
You
it.
like that? But no, seriously, little things like that, like it's my pleasure to do it.
Yeah.
And after you say that enough, guess what? It becomes your pleasure.
Yes.
It does.
I like that. I don't use it enough
Right.
because it has, but I do like.
You think you're working for Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
I will
the
even
worst thing
settle.
you could be known for.
Right.
I'll take it. You know?
I like, of course,
Yeah.
as well. That's
Of course.
I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah.
better than no problem.
Yeah, I don't like no problem, or even So anyway, but these are
Right.
the things you learn, and you have to practice them. And sometimes it's not natural, but you got to get into the routine. And this is a great program.
The other cool thing is the library is going to give each student that comes a laptop to use during the
Okay,
class.
okay.
We'll help them if they need the hotspots
Sure.
or whatever else, so that they aren't, hindered by lack of
Right.
technology.
You're going to have all the tools you need to do
All
it.
the tools
So
are
this
there.
is all happening at the library.
Yes, it's on the trolley network, so they
No
can get
excuse
there,
you
on,
can't
the,
get
on
there.
the trolley. Yeah.
Right. So it's April 14th to the 18th, which is spring break. It's for high school age, say 17 to 20, Warren County, Skyline, or even homeschoolers.
Dominion Ridge.
Dominion Ridge. So wherever you're at,
Yeah.
no excuse not to come. A lot of cool skills learned, how to get a job, hold a job, just life skills that they really need to know.
Right.
I think it's great.
And you must call me to register.
That's right. You got to call Susan because this is just don't show up because
Right.
you'll be rejected. That reminds me, I got to tell you this story about, we hired a lady to work for us in production. She, a mature woman, let me say how that is. She was okay. She just couldn't get the skill level we needed to, put the label on straight, And so we just told her, your services are no longer needed, right? Well, the next day she shows up for work again. And it took about a week of showing up that she just didn't get in her head that she wasn't working out. And we finally, took her aside, but she was determined she was going to. So I give her credit. I tried her for a couple more days, but because they showed up,
Yeah.
and so I just say that
Showing up's 50%
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's important. And
You show up, you earn
well, I tried-
$100.
Well, and I tried to find something else she could do,
Right,
because
right.
I was impressed that she
Right.
showed up for work.
Yeah.
So, sometimes that happens, but it's cool. I think you need to learn these skills early, and this is a great place to do it. So, April 14th to the 18th at the library from 10 to 4:30, and you can make $100. That's great. Thanks again, Michelle,
Free lunch.
for bringing Susan along.
Oh,
I know we
sure.
didn't get you to say much, but
Well, I can say something.
you got something. Oh, you got some more programs. That's right, I forgot. Go ahead, tell us about what's coming up next.
Okay, well, another thing for social services is April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we do the pinwheels. And
that's
so
right.
the pinwheel gardens will be at all the parks, the sheriff's office, the police station.
You'll see yard
In
signs
front of,
all over
yep,
town.
but there'll be yard signs, and then you're welcome to pick the pinwheels. We have people designated to refill the gardens if the pinwheels
So you
are
want them
taken.
gone.
We want them gone. We want the pinwheels to be taken away.
Yeah,
yes.
because it takes the message with it.
Yes.
Right? Good.
Yes. So that's what's coming up in April. Well, you'll see those popping up. Of course, I have to go on to like House of Hope.
Sure.
House of Hope is having their fundraiser, the Empty Bowl Supper
Yeah,
on
that's
April 24th.
That's always a popular.
Yeah.
You get
So-
a lot of community comes together. They come together on all these things,
Right,
but they
right,
really
right,
like
right.
that, and it's kind of a deal. It's kind of
Yeah, and
cool.
Arlene Link is she's
yeah.
got bowls to paint over at Explore Art and Clay on Main Street.
That's called audience participation.
yeah.
And it does. It
Yeah,
adds
they
to
love
the
it.
to the feature of the thing, so you kind of know when you're staring at that bowl,
Right.
that
Yeah.
empty bowl. Yeah,
That-
that's great.
So we have restaurants that have already signed up to do the soups and the bowls, and so that's going to be at First Baptist Church, and at 6 to 8. It's an hour later than we've normally had it,
Okay.
but 6 to 8 p.m.
That's
it's a
on the
Thursday.
24th?
It's a
Okay.
Thursday night.
Okay, it's great.
Yeah, so we have tickets out. You'll see Facebook posts, and I'll be sending flyers out
Okay.
various organizations.
All right. So what about
And
the
then
Hearts?
the Hearts shelter is getting ready to close on March 29th.
Yeah, it's been kind of warm, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're always going to be closing on the 29th.
Because
But it is
we
getting
had
warm
1
now.
or 2 days of warm weather.
Yeah.
The next thing you know,
I know, it was so cold.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a Saturday morning. We'll be closing up that morning, and we really would like to thank everybody who supports Hearts. There's so many people and organizations that help us do this for 4 months, and
And they show up. I mean,
they
that's what
show
we talk
up.
about showing
Yes,
up. Yeah.
they show up. Our volunteers show up. So we really appreciate it.
thank
It's been
them
a
enough.
really
That's great.
successful. It's a successful season. The Presbyterian Church has been great housing us there, and
And all your
So
guests appreciate it too.
yep, they love
I think
it.
you talk to them and they say this makes a difference.
Yes.
Makes their life better.
And we do have someone that comes out and gives haircuts, and
Yeah.
they love that. Yeah, some of them look totally different
Oh
when
yeah.
she's done.
Totally different. Well, again, thanks Susan for telling us about
you.
this. We'll be putting all the information below in the story and all the address and the time and the phone numbers because you have to call Susan to register.
Yes.
All right. Thanks again, ladies. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you.